for Canadians.
Right.
The honourable member for Yellowhead.
Madam Speaker, after 8 years of this Liberal Prime Minister, Vera, a car wash owner in my riding, is struggling because of the carbon tax. She says she keeps raising rates in her small rural town. People will stop coming and she will go out of business. Will the Prime Minister take responsibility for crippling small business owners like Vera and remove the carbon tax? If he won't stop the tax, then get out of the way. Conservatives will keep the heat on and take the tax off.
The honourable parliamentary secretary.
If the member opposite was talking to his constituents, he might have also been told that in January they received either a direct deposit payment or a cheque as a climate action incentive. And it has been shown that 8 out of 10 Canadians will receive more through that backstop than it was paid through the climate pricing. So, in fact, we are working very hard to make life more affordable, and we are supporting them through these changes with utility bills and the like by helping them with retrofits, and it's creating good-paying jobs in communities like his.
The honourable member for Charleswood, St. James, Assiniboia, Headingley.
After 8 years of this Liberal Prime Minister, he leaves a sad, sad legacy. It's not my fault Canadians can't afford to eat, heat, or house themselves, he says, but now he's making it even worse. He's going to triple the carbon tax. Conservatives will turn all this hurt into hope by fighting to keep the heat on and take the tax off. Will the Prime Minister take responsibility for this mess he made and get out of the way so Conservatives can fix what he broke?
Yeah. The honourable parliamentary secretary to the Minister for Environment and Climate Change.
Madam Speaker, the honourable members from my home province of Manitoba, and Manitobans will receive $1,000 in their climate action rebate this year. But again, Madam Speaker, the honourable member will know what's been happening with climate change on the prairies. 2 $1 billion floods, 2 1 in 300-year floods, Mr. Speaker, the worst drought in 50, 60 years that has paralyzed our farm community. Mr. Speaker, the honourable member and his party should get serious about climate change and stop the denial.
In this chair. The honourable member for Victoria.
Madam Speaker, a report released yesterday shows clearly that carbon capture and storage is not an effective net zero solution. So why did the Liberals plow ahead with this flawed approach, committing $8.6 billion? Well, they were listening to big oil. Hot tip, if you want to make good climate policy, stop listening to oil and gas lobbyists, who, by the way, are making record profits while destroying our planet. So will the Liberals cancel their carbon capture handouts to big oil and instead invest in real climate solutions?
The honourable parliamentary secretary.
We are working on real climate solutions right across our economy, whether it be putting on a target on sales of electric vehicles to reduce combustion, be it retrofitting buildings right across our country to reduce combustion. We are taking action. Carbon capture and storage is one of the tools in the toolbox. It is not the only one. And right here on this side, we know that we're going to take a full spectrum across all sectors of our economy so that we take action on climate change.
The honourable member for South Okanagan, West Kootenay.
Madam Speaker, Canadians have seen what happens when we're not prepared for climate disasters. Homes are swept out to sea, vital transportation corridors are destroyed by floods. Municipalities across Canada are asking for help, but the Liberals aren't stepping up. Instead, according to Post Media, this government is underfunding disaster adaptation by $13 billion. The Federation of Canadian Municipalities is calling for action. So will the Liberals listen and immediately increase disaster adaptation funding?
Hear, hear.
The honourable parliamentary secretary.
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker. Thanks to the honourable member for the question. And unlike the party opposite, we believe that climate change is real. Those costs are going up, as the honourable member mentioned, Mr. Speaker and Madam Speaker. And we are feeling the impacts from coast to coast to coast: floods, fires, droughts costing billions. And that's why we launched just a short time ago, Madam Speaker, we launched our national adaptation strategy. $1.6 billion we've invested, Madam Madam Speaker, 84 very specific measures, Mr. Speaker. We're going to protect our communities, we're going to save lives, and Madam Speaker, we are going to build resilient economy.
The honourable member for Kitchener South Hespeler.
Over the last few years, especially over the last 3 years, our healthcare system has experienced significant challenges. Every Canadian deserves to get the healthcare they need whenever and wherever they need it. That's why I'm proud that our government presented a plan to deliver real results for patients and healthcare workers. Madam Speaker, can the Minister of Health please update this House on the recent progress made to improve healthcare for all Canadians?
The Minister of Health.
Madam Speaker, and thank you to our colleague from Kitchener for her hard work. And thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to say exactly that. That is, on Tuesday, we made an offer of $200 billion over the next 10 years to prepare the future in healthcare, but also to repair the damage that was caused by COVID-19 by giving more access to family health teams, which are essential for a truly functioning healthcare system, reduction in backlog, supporting healthcare workers, investing in mental health, and having a system, a data system in Canada that saves lives and protects the health of workers.
The Honourable Member from Montmagny-Lake-Kamouraska-Rivière-du-Loup. Madam Speaker, after 8 years of laxist policies from this Prime Minister, the consequences are disastrous. In Vancouver, 40 delinquents were arrested 6,000 times over 1 year. The Liberal government releases criminals in their communities. Shootings in Montreal are multiplying. Weapons convictions are more lax than in the past. And so when will more strict measures be reinstated by this Prime Minister? The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary. Madam Speaker, Canadians deserve to feel safe.
Risk to public safety, they should be denied bail. At the Minister of Justice direction, federal officials have been working for months with their provincial territorial counterparts to develop ways to best keep Canadians safe. We all have a role to play in protecting our communities. In fact, the Minister of Justice met with police chiefs from across the country to listen to their suggestions on how to deal with serious repeat violent offenders and on bail. They agreed that we need lasting solutions that are...
The Honourable Member for Montmagny-Lake-Kamouraska-Rivière-du-Loup. Madam Speaker, violent crime has increased by 32% since this Prime Minister took office. Over the past 8 years, gang-related homicides have increased by 92%. Canadians are increasingly concerned. It's sad to see that in Canada, that has a reputation for being peaceful, people are afraid to walk alone or use the metro in Toronto, for example. What is the Prime Minister going to do to finally protect the population? Madam Speaker, the Conservatives speak about an increase in violence on our streets, about the increase of gun violence, but they are against controlling guns in Canada, Madam Speaker. We tabled a bill that seeks to stop the handgun market, and the Conservatives are against the very idea of this. If they really want to protect our children, if they really want to protect Canadians, they have to rally to our cause to make sure that handguns can no longer be found on our streets.
The Honourable Member for Kamloops Thompson Caribou.
Madam Speaker, after 8 years of Liberals dragging their feet on not acting on bail reform, we find ourselves here where bail is broken. Premiers want change. Canadians want change. Police want change. This government prefers to talk rather than act. Yesterday, I and my Conservative colleagues took the first step in a very long journey on bail in tabling Bill C-313. Will this government pass this legislation or get out of the way so we can reform bail?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of Canada.
All Canadians deserve to be safe and to feel safe, and the laws on bail are clear. If an accused person poses a serious risk to public safety, they should be denied bail. At the Minister of Justice direction, federal officials have been working for months with their provincial territorial counterparts. We all have a role to play in protecting our communities, Madam Speaker. In fact, the Minister of Justice met with police chiefs from across Canada to listen to their suggestions on how to deal with serious, repeat violent offenders on bail. They agreed that we need lasting solutions that are tough when they need to be tough, but also address underlying issues.
The honourable member for Kamloops Thompson Carrigal.
Madam Speaker, I invite my honourable colleague to go back and to listen to the Minister of Justice's remarks to this House when asked similar questions on